going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, James Gravalos, joined by these lovely gentlemen, Brandon, JS, once again. And today we are going to be talking about our most memorable cheat codes and exploits that we've used or that we've seen in video games over our generations of playing video games or years of playing video games. So I'm going to throw it right to Brandon right off the bat. So kick us off, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, so I mean, most of mine are from obviously like games you feel strongly towards, because those are going to be the kind of bugs that, like, you know, I don't play in Fallout 3, for example, to try and find exploits and stuff like that. I do that because I've played the game so many times that, like, I'm bored of the regular content, but I still don't want to stop playing the game. So one of the first ones that I've ever used regularly, especially when it came to like creating new characters and playing through as quickly as possible, until the Operation Anchorage DLC came out. You used to be able to Operation Fallout 3. Mm-hmm. So all this is Fallout 3.
You're obsessed.
But I am.
It's a great game.
Fallout franchise is probably one of the best franchises, bar the most recent two entries into the series. But we'll not talk about that. There's a difference between bugs and exploits and then Fallout 76. So Fallout 3, there was you had to go to the Citadel, which was a location run by the Brotherhood of Steel for the uninitiated into the Fallout 3 lore or context of the game. You had to go into the Citadel in order to unlock the ability to wear the power armor, and someone had to train you. And he could train you technically at any point in time in the game, but the Citadel had a barricade that would block you from getting into it. And I had found while watching like lore videos and stuff on YouTube back in like 2008 when the game came out, I had found a way where someone was showcasing that using like nearby rubble, you could fall through the world and then safely walk to the door in the Citadel by getting around the gate. So you would just essentially circumvent the gate by going under it rather than like over it or through it and clipping through it. And then at that point, you could open the door. The problem with that is if you do end up wanting to play through the main story in that save file, the wall, even when it lifts, creates an invisible barrier. And you couldn't walk into and out of the Citadel at that point.
So you're stuck in there forever?
No, you could exit, but you would have to fast travel away. But there's certain missions where like they kind of like spawn you through that door and you can't walk through that barricade anymore. Like when you're doing the final mission with Liberty Prime to storm the Purifier, you have to walk through that door to follow Liberty Prime out, and you couldn't get through the invisible barrier, which the game was registering as the actual barrier that has now been lifted. So it caused some issues with the mainline story, but it was always worth the sacrifice to get power armor, like first thing. Mm-hmm. And that's like my go-to. I did that like on every playthrough once I stopped caring about the main story, and I wanted to just try different builds and stuff like that. Always got power armor training up until Operation Anchorage, because then you could just leave the vault after creating your character, go to Operation Anchorage, do the DLC, and at the end of it, they teach you how to wear power armor. I guess they was try to circumvent that bug if Bethesda even knew it existed, because I don't think they patched it, but it's probably like the most used thing.
It's like good speed runs of that game. I'll check one out for sure.
There are, especially if you're watching like the full, like we're gonna break the crap out of this game in order to make the speed run work.
Yeah,
I think the speed run record for Fallout 3 is like 20 minutes or something like that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, wow. I mean, Fallout 2, I think, is like 5 minutes if you don't care about what ending plays on the screen at the end of the game. But it's pretty insane, like how quickly people can beat that game using Bethesda's awful and buggy engine.
It's like most of the Zeldas, they can do that too. But these games are supposed to be like 40 hours, 50 hours plus, right? Like, like time. I think the speed running record for that with glitches and not cheats but glitches is like 8 minutes or something like that, 10 minutes or something.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, they just like go right to Ganon right away. It's nuts.
It's like that people
like Breath of the Wild. Have you ever seen a Breath of the Wild speed run with glitches?
Oh,
I don't want to because I haven't beaten it yet.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like 25 minutes or something like that.
I've got to finish that game right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool.
Fallout 3 had there was another one that like was easy to learn early on, where like if you sold 2 items regardless of their durability to a vendor, it would create a duplicate item, and one of them would essentially get boosted to max durability, and the durability of the item that you're selling affects the price. So then you could buy it, or sorry, you could essentially sell it to them, buy it back full price, but then it goes like into your inventory at like broken, but it registers as like fully repaired, and you could max out getting like 2,000 caps at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
That was another good one that I learned fairly early on that also I took advantage of every single time. But like in terms of like the bugs that I've seen people do in speedruns and stuff, like I never even thought to just walk out of the vault and knowing where your dad's location is in the game, just go straight to him. I was like, that's not feasible. I gotta go to, like fix the broadcasting tower and then go to the Capitol, explore the mall, kill a series. I never thought ever after leaving the vault to just fuck off and do something else. So
yeah, like they literally play, like 50,000 hours in one specific game, and sometimes like 20,000 on one specific level. So just naturally by a process of elimination, they end up in every single small little corner and nook.
Oh yeah,
that's generally how they find these things, right? But you can also look into like the like I know some speedrunners and stuff like that. They look into like, I don't know what they're called, but they're like the data logs or something like that, and they're looking for exploits in the game in the data, but not actually in the game.
Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I think it was like maybe Ocarina of Time. I think I saw one where this guy like had I guess like a computer screen going, and then he's like looking at numbers and letters and all this code and shit. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then you see him go through the wall and like he's doing all this shit and the game's done. I'm like, how the fuck did he do that?
Well, yeah,
there's like 30, 40 people cheering in the background for him. I'm like, okay, cool.
All right, this is weird.
Great speedrun like competitiveness for like Pokemon Red and Blue. And so like there was this like wall in like 2016 that nobody could get like past, not an actual literal wall, but like a time wall, right? Like they were trying to break the 17-minute barrier or some shit like that. So some guy created a massive spreadsheet on all possible, you know what I mean? Like what happens if this happens, and what do you do if this happens? Yeah. And another speedrunner used it to break through the time barricade that people were having trouble with. But yeah, the amount of work they put into it is like shocking, man.
Oh yeah,
it's good videos too, right? They make some good money, I guess. They probably make some good coin too, like with like doing all this crazy shit.
I don't think the guys who put the work in do, man. I think they're just like
What's the world record for Cyberpunk? I'm assuming that game's broken enough that someone can just teleport to the end of the game.
I mean, if you really wanted to, I could check, but
just turn on the game and it says game over.
Yeah,
go to Lugal.
Wake up, Samurai. We've got a patch to put out.
Wake up. Your game sucks.
But yeah, Zelda had some really good ones, man. Like Ocarina of Time, watching the exploits and the glitches that those speedrunners do, right? And some of them, like, watch, for you viewers and you guys yourselves, watch the 100%. It's like 4 or 5 hours long. So I don't know, if you ever have time, watch it. It's unbelievable what these guys are doing. And they, you know how there's obviously all the temples, right?
Yeah.
They don't take them in order whatsoever. Like I think the first temple they go to is the what's it called? The Sand Temple?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the first places they go to, which is unbelievable. It's like supposed to be like 30 hours into the game when you get there.
Really? Well, I can check it out. I don't mind watching the speedrun. Some of them are pretty crazy.
Yeah, I do no commentary, so I don't have to listen to some douchebag talk the whole time. It's just,
that makes sense.
I'm half and half, because sometimes like they do something just so absurd that I need an explanation for it.
Yeah.
And there's other times where it's just like I like, like the Mario 64 ones I've seen so many times that like there's not really anything new that surprises me. So those ones I don't mind just leaving on with, basic game sounds and stuff like that. But other ones, there's like I can't not have someone explain to me what the hell I'm looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I like DQ, man, because like you have the fan reaction in the background too, and the bench sitting behind the player. Yeah. So
I'd cheer you on, buddy.
Me? Speedrunning? Speedrun Dota.
James and I will go head to head in the next podcast speedrunning a game.
Speedrunning some random game.
We
the podcast.
We can commentate. It's fine.
What game would we speedrun anyways? That's a
I don't know. We'll have to do some let's plays coming up soon for the fans. So
yeah, for sure.
We could always do the podcast over top of a let's play too.
I'm okay with that.
Too much competition.
This is true.
Yeah. Right. Anyways, Nick, what about you, man? Were your
for me, there were a couple that were like one that comes to mind is Halo and Halo Reach. When you're doing the legendary playthrough. It's fucking hard as natural. But I found that there are some levels where if they're big enough, once you hit a checkpoint, it'll auto-kill all the enemies. So you could run through the entire mission, and as long as you hit that checkpoint before they kill you, you can just turn around and watch all of the aliens drop dead. Right? And it was a quick way to just kind of get through all that.
That brings up like a good point about cheats and exploits though and stuff like that. Like if you're speedrunning the game and you're aiming for like a timing, that's all fine and good. And maybe the first time you do something like that where all the enemies drop dead and you're like, wow, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But then every time after that, like Brandon here in his like power armor and this stupid game. Like I'm kidding, man. It's a fantastic game. But like, doesn't it suck the enjoyment out of it a little bit? Like,
for me, not really.
Yeah,
well,
fun.
I mean,
There's
legendary.
a good example of that. Like, sorry, Nick. Go ahead. I'll jump in afterwards.
Yeah,
but I have a perfect example for that.
For me, like legendary in general already sucked the joy out of the game because it was already too hard for me in general.
So you cheated to get through it? Come on.
Yeah, I needed the achievement. I was going for the achievement. I don't care. But yeah, no. For me, it helped a little bit. Some missions doesn't work like that, but you got to take what you can get.
I was thinking like playing Grand Theft Auto with invincibility, and it's fun for like 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay.
That's why you beat
all the fun.
I'm okay.
It's invincible, but you're not when you get out of it.
What was your thing, Brandon?
I want it in the exact context that you've mentioned it of like a cheat code that like kind of sucks the fun away from it, but at the same time, like in Nick's example, like it makes it almost easier to do. The Jesus room in No Mercy when playing on realism in Left 4 Dead 1. I don't know if anyone else is familiar with it.
I forgot about
that game. I don't know that
game. I don't remember
about it. I don't know if it's still an exploit in the game. I haven't tried it or played it in ages, and I think all four of us just as a consensus agreed to play Left 4 Dead at some point.
I'm down.
There was a door in No Mercy that you can't open. It's not supposed to be interactable, but the developers actually created like the inside as a base room. Like you could walk inside of it, you wouldn't fall through the map. It was just a room that was never intended to be there, essentially. And they blocked it off with a door that you can't interact with. You as the player can't destroy. You can't do anything to it. But people found out that if you stand above the door on the roof of that spot, the zombies will bash on it and eventually break the door down. And then at that point, once the door has been destroyed, you can go in there and the zombies can't get in the room. They act like the door is still there, but they can't physically clip through there. They never had pathing for it, I guess. So everyone would just pile into that room, wait out the timer for the helicopter to come, and then everyone would just try and run and leg it to the helicopter as quickly as possible. It made doing No Mercy so much easier.
It sounds fun though, right? You're just sitting in a room, just like picking them off. Like,
we definitely
boring, man. That. No risk at all. No, I get what you're saying, though, man. That's why it's like it depends on the cheat, right? I feel like exploits and cheats are hit or miss in terms of enjoyment, because some things add to the game and some take away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like give me a rocket launcher in GTA, and I'll have fun with it, or I'll spawn a tank or a jet or something like that, and I'll enjoy it. Yeah, but in vulnerability or max money, like max money is a big problem in some of these games because you're just like, okay, the value of everything you're purchasing is gone now, and none of it means anything, right?
Yeah. Another one, yeah.
I was thinking like Rosebud for, I used to use that cheat all the time. Rosebud for The Sims.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fable 2, man. Fable 2. Just increase
2.
all the property taxes and then take your game offline, set the internal clock like 1,000 years ahead. Come back and you've got like 2 million gold, and you can just sweep the game at that point.
It's just mind-boggling, like some of the shit that like people figure out. Like there was like I'm starting to play Need for Speed Heat again, so I'm looking at like, oh, let's check out some videos. I haven't played it in a while, and like this guy's like, oh, infinite money glitch. I'm like, what the fuck? How you do an infinite money glitch, right? So you look, so the guy's like, hey, you go into your garage, you sell your car, but you got to be offline, so you're not connected to the internet at all, your Xbox or whatever it is. Then you're offline. Then you got to go offline in the Need for Speed game, then fucking sell the car, reboot the game, make sure that you simultaneously go online with your internet and online with Need for Speed, and then you just keep doing that. And you keep selling cars, and the car reappears back in your garage. It's like, who the fuck took the time to figure that shit out, right? Like, and how did you figure that out?
That sounds like save file manipulation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like some of these people, like, I don't know, I would never do that because it's like, what's the point? It's a fucking racing game. Like, just, you know, get your XP and move on. But
Just
yeah, it's just
play
it's
the
crazy
game,
some of the
yeah.
shit like we're talking about and what people can do.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I mean when I'm talking about some of those speedrunners and stuff like that. Like, but a lot of it, once again, is just you put enough hours into something with enough people playing, right?
Yeah,
And
of course, something's gonna pop up. Right?
yeah, something will
Yeah.
happen, and as long as the person
Mhm.
records it and puts it online, right? Like a lot of the for like Super Mario's speedrunning and stuff like that, a lot of the stuff that popped up were just people posting on forums saying, "Oh, I accidentally did this, but look and see what happened." And then an actual
Yeah.
speedrunner goes, "Oh, interesting! Like,
Yeah,
I can take advantage of that."
Yeah.
Yeah, but only
Yeah.
at like two different parts in the game, right? It's like it's such a weird little glitch or
Oh
weird
yeah,
little
for
hack
sure.
that seems so irrelevant, but someone's like, "Oh, I could use that in level 8 or something like that to do this." Yeah, and then they do it and they beat the record by 1 second or some shit, right? Crazy.
Yeah.
Mario's notorious for some classic glitches, warp
Yeah.
zones, infinite life shit, like
Yeah.
all that stuff. So.
Yeah, there's some
I
good
had
ones.
I had seen a good one with in terms of speedruns. I will never be able to execute this in my life, but like there's a speedrun for Jedi Fallen Order, and I only wanted to watch it because I'm looking at the time on YouTube because sometimes I don't watch GDQ live. I'll just watch like the individual segment highlights to see the games that I'm aware of or I know of. And there's a part in Jedi Fallen Order where the guy intentionally like falls out of bounds because while you're out of bounds, parts of the terrain don't load and textures don't load properly, and
Mhm.
like manipulated it so that like without the textures loading, the vine or whatever he was, I think it was like a slide, like one of those like mud sections where you're just supposed to like slide down it and you kind of just steer your character from side to side. It doesn't load properly, so he kind of skips that entire segment plus the cutscene from when you get off of it and stuff like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
this guy apparently just saved like 20 minutes in time between trying to do the whole sequence of events plus like a 5-minute cutscene.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? How do you discover this? Like, how do you even know to fall through the map by jumping on this vine to then switch over to like, oh, the textures won't load because of this? Like,
I think
is this trial and error or do
I
you
think-
brute force this?
sometimes it is just trial and error, but I think sometimes it's stumbling upon it.
You just click.
Right?
You just
Someone
glitch out,
stumbles
yeah.
upon it, like JS was saying, and then they're like, "Oh, wait, I can use this," right? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, like I said, like sometimes they actually dive deep into the code of the game and they say, "Oh, here is
Here it
a
is.
broken piece of code that I can manipulate," or you know,
I
what I mean,
can
they're
spawn
figuring out, or
everything.
like some of the nastiest ones, the weirdest ones I ever see is RNG manipulation. So they're like they can manipulate R&D based on their movements. So it's like you go back to the Game Boy and stuff like that. It's like when you load the game, hold A, smash BBB like 6 times in a row, hold A again, then you load the game and you take like 7 steps to the left, 2 to the right, hold A the whole time. Then when you get to this point, the R&D is manipulated.
yeah, you're just
so that you
coding
can
the
get
game.
something specific. Yeah, right. It's wild what they do. Man.
RNG.
What am I saying? What
Isn't it? Are you referring to like random number generator?
Yeah, what did I say?
RNG.
No, I'm
Research
saying
and development,
RNG.
baby. Let's go.
Oh, I know, right?
That damn research.
Fuck you, Brandon, man. This is why I don't like these.
This is my last episode.
Yeah, farewell. I'll say my piece.
Listen, if I don't say it first, you know that the comments are going to be full of people who are like, "Did you just call it R&D?"
Yeah, now they're gonna be worse. They're gonna be making fun of me because
There
they
you go.
know I was
Yeah,
wrong.
let you take that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you're taking back the power. If you own your mistake before people can call you out on it, they can't call you out on it anymore.
No, I'm embarrassed. We're done here.
We're
Cut the cameras.
Yeah.
Cut the cameras.
You,
Cut
Yeah.
the mic.
you better not mispronounce anything this podcast, Brandon.
Ever? No,
Ever, yeah.
Ever. I'm writing a note somewhere.
Grind, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't flub. I know how to speak R&D.
He's got it. You down with RNG? Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. What's the best game? What's the best game for cheats though? Like best game bar none cheats.
Gotta be like GTA and like
I would argue
GoldenEye.
Vice City.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, Vice City would probably
GoldenEye's
have
good
to
too.
There's some good shit. There's some. You know, I was just thinking about. You guys remember Far Cry? I think it was like 3 and 4. Actually, I believe you can do it with 5 too.
Yeah.
Where like right off the beginning. I know 4 for sure. where you can literally beat the game in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
Like you're going to spread the your ashes of, I think it was like your mom or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, I'm gonna be back. And then it's like you hear shit in the background, so then you obviously go and fuck the game starts and go play whatever. But if you wait, he shows back up and you go spread the ashes and the game's over. And the same thing in Far Cry 5 with like the main character as well. You have the option of like arresting him or just letting him free, and then if you let him free, the game's over. You beat the game. So it's kind of cool how like they do that shit. Like that's okay, whatever. I think you get an achievement for both.
Yeah, that was a really clever way to deal with pig and men.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah,
I wonder what they're gonna do with when 6 comes out too, right? Because I'm sure they'll do something.
So apparently, I was reading this on the Far Cry subreddit because I do follow it because I really enjoyed 5 and 3. 3 and Blood Dragon are my favorite. Apparently, they left that ending in as an inside like dev joke / Easter egg because they had planned on at some point in Far Cry 4. The main character realizing that like the rebels are just as bad as Peg and Min, and you could defect from the rebels and join back with Peg and Min, and he would have like his own actual ending and stuff like that. But they had to cut that content, so instead they went with this like just wait it out and that's the end of the game.
Oh, interesting. I think I would have liked that a little bit better.
Apparently, time constraints. They didn't want crunch.
Yeah, they didn't want crunch.
No crunch. Let me tell you about crunch.
Please
now there's some.
Please no.
Date
Please
myself back. You guys remember Game Genie? Remember using the Game Genie growing up?
Game Genie and Game Shark.
I remember
Game Shark more.
My
I remember
godparents.
GameFly.
My godparents had got that for me when I was a kid. So I was probably like 7, 8. I don't even remember when it actually came out. I was young. I remember like throwing it on like any NES games, right? And just fucking the shit would come up and you'd scroll through like which cheats you want to use and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like growing up, it's like we never had like YouTube really, right? We would just, you go on like a random website or you'd have the like the booklets, right? There'd be some cheats and people would figure shit out and you'd have it like people bring it to school. Look what I found. And you'd like, 8x11 sheet of paper with all these different shit that you've done in games, which was kind of cool.
That's what I had for.
Well, like remember, was it the website Cheat Code Central? Remember that? Who remembers
Cheat
that?
Code Central.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I got all my Star Wars, Lego Star Wars cheat
everything
codes.
was on there. Your job, you'd be at school, like fucking, in high school, printing shit on. But those are I remember Game Genie and then like Cheat Code CC was there. CheatCodeCC.com. I'm sure they're still around. But.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I have one of their magazines of like cheat codes that they had printed somewhere around here.
There's a bunch of shit, right? Like there's
That'd be worth something now.
It probably would be.
I don't know. I'd say like some of the most memorable, like for me, would be like N64 days, because that was like the couch co-op, console for me, anyways. So my older brother, and then my neighbors, who were like the same age as us. We'd always play like brothers versus brothers kind of shit, or like me and my buddy versus my brother and his buddy. And like I remember Mario Kart, doing all those Mario Kart glitches, like Wario Stadium right off the bat, hit the boost and just fucking flip over the wall.
Launch over the walls.
Launch over the wall. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? We're like, yo, it's in the game, man. It's in the game.
It lets me do it.
Rainbow Road, right?
Jumping Rainbow Road,
landing there, cutting off like a third of the track immediately.
And then it's like, the best is like when you're playing with buddies because like everybody knows the code or knows the cheat. And it's like only 2 of you pull it off and everyone's getting pissed. I'm fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
No, it's always fun. I'm glad they put shit in games like that just to have some fun with it.
I don't think they did that shit on purpose, man. I'm pretty sure they did.
No, people figured it out, but
people figured out you can bump off.
It's not like you could fix it.
To do some Let's Plays while we're doing some like old school N64. So Nintendo, if you're watching, make that shit on your Switch. Do a little N64 online would be sweet.
Well, I'm honestly, them like they're not going to get slapped with a DMCA.
Yeah, probably. A lot of people are.
We could download a
emulator, right?
We could download an emulator. We can get Robbie to play so that Nintendo was happy.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Robbie. But yeah, that's like those are some of the ones that I remember.
We can only copy that we own, though, guys. We can't pirate them. That's illegal.
Of course, we're sharing. Sharing is caring. What else? I'm gonna fucking rip on EA right now just because I fucking want to rip on EA.
I was gonna say, guys, the biggest exploit that I know of is clearly like any of the Ultimate Team's packs.
Listen, the Ultimate Team shit, because I've taken a break from fucking NHL the last couple last week and a bit, because we've been in like the ESHL club playoffs. and we dominate teams. Like we're dominating like time on attack, like fuck everything. And it's always like these guys that glitch goal all the time. It's gotten a lot worse over the years because I remember playing when I was like competitive, playing like MLG and all that stuff, where it was very difficult to score. But now they've kind of geared their games to make it easier. So obviously, everybody can play, but you got to have some sort of competitiveness playing online. Like you can't I can score fucking 10, 12 goals a game by just glitch goaling, right? Like it's just
glitch goaling
there's so many different ways you can do, like cut across, and like the goalies are so bad that you can just
okay.
right? There's always like that, but it was maintainable before. Like you get the odd one here and there. Now it's like every goal that you just come down. If you know how to do it
now, isn't that just part of like the natural progression of the games? Like people just understand the game mechanics much better, so they can
but like the goalies, they've made the goalies so easy to score. But the thing is, they get these YouTube guys that obviously spend shitloads of money on pack. Well, obviously they probably don't because EA throws some shit now probably. Mm-hmm. But they get all these like YouTube guys, like these content creators, which is fine. But like these guys, all they do is the same shit over and over again. Glitch goal, glitch goal, glitch goal. It's like it's not competitive. Maybe it's for them, but I don't know. It's just don't let these guys fucking dictate the way your game's gonna be made. Just make it a little bit more competitive, especially on the like if you're playing an MLG or you're playing esports, right?
If both parties know how to glitch goal, then doesn't it just become you trying to stop the other guy from glitch goaling? And saying,
like I know how to stop it. Like you can stop it to some extent, but like eventually it's tough, right? Like some people don't. I do it, fuck it, because you gotta win games. You gotta win games because guys will do it, and it's like okay,
so fair enough.
Basically,
so is it like an actual glitch, or is this just like shitty
AI? AI, like, and every year they're like, oh, we've enhanced our AI for
every year they say
that, not right. And I remember like going on some of these like the EA events where like we've played NHL prior to the game coming out, and it's like you're with like one of the development crew, like JS, you were sitting on the same one as me, right? You did it 1 year, I did it 1 year, and it's just like I'm telling the guy, I'm like, yo, your goalies suck. I'll score like 10 goals a game right now on you. And I remember smoking his ass too. I'm like, see, your goalies suck, man. Like, fucking change your game. Fuck EA.
That's cool though. What was that guy's name? Something Chow? The developer?
I don't know, man.
No, he's like a legend.
William, I think.
Tommy Chow?
William Ho, I think.
I don't know. It's on our Instagram, NXL Instagram.
Anyways, I'm done.
You done with your rant now?
Yeah, we'll save that for next time.
Save that for another one.
But just angry.
We'll do a 2-hour special for EA.
Yeah, that will be like a hot fucking live event. For the
James will have a PowerPoint already to point out all the different ways that they suck.
if you want a reason to hate on EA, just Google like Mass Effect Legendary Edition and find it on BioWare's official website and look at the $500 US price tag. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need.
What?
Let's save it for the next one.
Yeah, Nick, I'll tell you once we're done.
I'm
not impressed with it, but
okay.
I have one more I want to talk about. Actually, two more. A lot. Gears, because we used to play Gears a lot. I don't know, you guys play Gears a bunch? Remember the weapon slide?
I play Gears. I can see your Marcus poster. So
yeah, you can see it. Where is it? Right there. Yeah.
Which Gears is this in every
Gears?
Like I only played Gears 2.
Gears 1. Gears 1, I think it was.
Gears 1.
You can just weapon slide. So you basically use the mechanic of sliding, and then you pick up the weapon, right? And I remember it was Dave and I. We played in a tournament for the World Cyber Games, and you had to go to a qualifier. So like one of the rules, like no weapons sliding. Like, okay, whatever. So we faced the team in the final. So winning team, you advance to the World Cyber Games, which is in Toronto. So we drove like 2 hours to London. So these guys were like weapon sliding the whole time, but like the convener or whatever the hell, they didn't catch it. We're like, yo, what the fuck? Like these guys are weapon sliding, right? Anyways, long story short is it gets contested. We end up going into the tournament, right?
Oh, nice.
So we made it. So they brought both of our teams. So we end up playing these guys in the semis, I think it was. And we fucking wrecked them. And we were like, yeah. And like, we were like, fuck you, no weapon sliding in this fucking shit. Because there was literally a person behind every TV watching you, right? When you're playing the World Cyber Games. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was crazy. I just remember like slamming my controller down. I'm like, fuck you. We fucking beat you, cheating fucks. Like, because they cheated to get there, right? Because we actually were smoking them when we played in the qualifier. Yeah. But I just remember that weapon slide glitch. We used to do it when we played online all the time. But like, obviously not when you're doing tournaments and shit. But yeah, my last one, Pokemon. Remember like I don't know which Pokemon it was where you could do the infinite Pokeball or like the Master Pokeball or whatever the hell it was.
infinite items, yeah. The rare
Infinite
candy
items.
glitch and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
rare candy glitch.
Yeah.
Corrupted save file.
There's some
No,
crazy.
missing no. Let's go.
What sucked about the rare candies is they were
It was like-
individual. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that because like if you did it too many times, your save file would corrupt. So it was like rolling the dice and being like,
Yeah.
like should I go all in one more time?
how far can I get?
You're like, should I do it? Should I do
Yeah.
it? Do it, man. Fucking do it.
I was playing Pokemon Orange on my phone the other day and on a ROM.
Nice.
And and I got pretty far. Like got my like Charizard up to level 34 or something like that. And I didn't save it right, I guess, so I had to start back at the beginning. I'm like, fuck that. I'm done.
there you go.
That's
Because you have
annoying.
to save it on the ROM, not in the game. Totally forgot
You
about that.
totally messed it up.
Yeah. Shit.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, I got one. One of my favorites was Skyrim. Okay.
Mhm.
You could put a bucket on an NPC's head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Really?
bucket them.
Yeah,
Like,
what it
one
would
of them-
do is it would interrupt their line of sight, so you could put it
Yeah,
on their
exactly.
head. I used to do it
Yeah.
in the first shop because you always need shit the first time you
Yes,
go around.
exactly. Yeah.
So you'd give him back the golden claw that you find, right?
Mhm.
Because that's part of the quest line, and then you put the bucket on his head and steal it back from him.
Yeah.
You never notice it, and you're walking.
Is it
Like
bad
most-
that I've never played a Skyrim game?
Yeah, we established that in the first episode, I think.
It's
Not-
evident because they're not
Elder
Skyrim.
Scrolls. Yeah, they're Elder
Yeah.
Scrolls.
Yeah. I don't know. Fucking-
Yeah. No, that's fine, man.
I've got a good one. This is more. I don't know if you would necessarily call this a glitch or a bug or an exploit or whatever you want to refer to it as. More so as someone reverse engineering the game. But someone fixed Aliens Colonial Marines.
Yeah,
Jimmy S got one in 4K.
Yeah. Just own it, bro. Own it.
I am.
Yeah.
I admit it. Aliens.
I know. It's fucking.
Stand up and take a bow, buddy.
Colonial Marines.
Anal
Someone
alien?
had gone through the code, and they found that I think there was like a missing, I think it was as simple as like there was a missing equals sign in one of the variables. So they put it in and then saved the code, ran the game, and apparently it fixed like 90% of the issues with the aliens like leashing and their ability to like do combat and stuff like that. Like apparently it fixed the game almost entirely.
Oh,
And it was just a piece of one digit of a missing code, or one character, if you will, of a missing code.
well,
And it apparently fixed the game. I mean, no one cares now because the game came out and was trash, but at least it's cool to know that someone cared enough to go and fix literally hitting one button and saving a file.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you that happens all the time. I bet you if you look at the files for Cyberpunk, they're fucking mess.
I mean, you can because someone sold them on the dark web. So
Yeah.
I know that guy, man. Part of the Lizard Squad.
I would to say that Cyberpunk's going to slap us with a yellow image DMCA. There, you got two out of me in like 30 seconds.
Probably wouldn't work. It'd probably just glitch out anyways. What are you gonna do, boys? What are you gonna do?
I forget who sent it, but one of you guys sent it in the group chat. It was the yellow screened Rickroll.
Oh, I think it was me because I think they actually did it themselves on Twitter. It's funny because they were making like fun of the shit, and all of a sudden like their game just fucking goes to shit. So it's
Yeah, real
karma, man.
funny. Yeah, real
Fuck
funny.
yeah,
The
real
developers of Guilty Gear just did that. They had put out like a mock, yellow image saying like this is just to let you know that Guilty Gear Drive is still going on schedule. Now it's backfired on them immensely because they actually did delay the game a couple of months.
Mhm.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Rip devs.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we're gonna wrap this episode up. I
Wait,
think
what
we
about
should-
Easter eggs?
We're going to talk about Easter eggs too. It's up to you guys.
Yeah,
I thought we were, like,
you don't
weird.
have to. No, you don't have
Oh,
to.
let's make it another one.
Yeah, we could do it. Just one, like we could probably literally do one just on Easter eggs. Alone,
I think my favorite Easter egg that I ever found was on Easter, and my mom had like hid it on a bookshelf when I was really short.
Yeah.
It was
So
chocolate.
It was cool to know that I had one like very
Last year?
hidden.
Last year, bro?
Yeah.
Fucking good times. I think we should, one of the episodes we'll do like Let's Plays, but we'll pick like one or two of what we talked about for the glitches, or even like we could try and, you know what we should do? Watch like a really crazy speed run and see if we can fucking try and do like, see what each of our scores are, and then we can edit it and like just see what we fucking.
We'll play like Mario Kart and watch someone do something crazy, and then we all have to try it.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I think we should do some Let's Plays while we do it, but we'll talk about that after, obviously.
The fans will love it.
Mhm.
It'll be good. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll definitely do some Let's Plays for the millions upon millions of viewers that we get watching these bad boys. But that's a wrap for sure for the exploits and cheats and, you know, going down memory lane with Game Genie and whatever
Game Shark.
Game Shark, yeah, and just like cheat code CC. I'm definitely gonna look those guys up and see if they still have a website. But that's a good one, boys. Good chat.
Domain for sale. GoDaddy.
Yeah, buy it. But yeah, that's it, boys. We're calling this next episode. Well, actually, I don't know what the next episode's gonna be, but this episode is done. So thank you, people, for tuning in to the Level Up podcast. We're dropping it. It's every Tuesday at, I believe, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think so.
11 or 12, depends what time somebody wakes up to throw that bad boy on YouTube. So follow us, obviously, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys on the next Level Up podcast.